Hello everybody, thank you for joining me once again. What I have here is what I affectionately call the baby. Not just because it's a great bass, it's because this is an example of the fabled Aria SB-1010. The dead giveaway is the lack of a brass bridge. So if you see something that looks exactly like an SB-1000 but has this bridge, unless somebody got really cute and replaced the brass bridge on an SB-1000, then chances are you're looking at an SB-1010. And the body is ever so slightly different as well. So now that the introduction is done, why are we here? We are here because the side dots on this baby are almost invisible. So what happens is, in my dimly lit studio, you know, when you want your studio to look super sexy and inspiring, you dim the lights. Unfortunately, that makes this bass kind of a challenge to play, especially because the shorter scale throws you off just a bit in the beginning. So, after pondering all the options out there, lumen lay, professional LED setups and this and that, paint, I said, you know what, let's just try a low buck way. And what inspired me was this. I already had a set of punches and I used those to fix a strap. And so I had the idea of, let's just take regular old glow-in-the-dark tape. This is made by Fuse. I just happened to try that one. And let's take the smallest punch I have, which is this one. This is 1/8 inch. So there, that's the business end. And this will be just a little difficult to show with one hand, or to demonstrate rather, but I have all the tools I used to make a successful first dot. You may have seen it. And there it is. I think it looks pretty good. Now, before I explain the process, allow me to philosophize just a bit. So when you're getting ready to enjoy a beverage, really take inventory. If you're feeling a bit low on energy, really need a kick, have some coffee. If you're feeling anxious, a beer may be in order. And if you're feeling particularly masterful, then go for the water. Me, I'm still trying to decide, so I'm keeping my options open. All right. So the process is quite simple. Just cut off a small piece of the fuse tape. You're not going to need much. And just place it here. You definitely want a wooden block. You definitely want a wooden block because you don't want to mess up, your table or your floor or whatever. So you grab your punch, just put it anywhere really. Grab your hammer, bam. It takes probably more force than you might think, but eventually you will see a tiny little circle in there. And here I have a paper clip, which you're going to use just to insert into here and just push it out. Push out the little dot you made. Oh, and it helps to keep it centered. Try to keep the punch centered so you get a clean circle. Some of the stuff I have here is optional. Something like this is good for old eyes. You turn this on, it has a little button that lights up the magnifying glass. Really handy, actually. Great for working on guitar. This is just a bottle full of isopropyl alcohol. So what I did was I cleaned everything here and dried it nicely just so there's a nice clean surface for these dots to adhere to. So here's actually the remnants of, so that's the back of the dot that I applied here. It looks pretty good, I'd say. It's not perfect. I'll get better as I roll down the neck. This, if you don't have nails, then you might want an X-Acto knife just to help you peel off the backer so that you can get the adhesive side going. And this just, you know, small set of pliers. Again, if you don't have nails, it might be tough to position this dot. So it's looking pretty promising, and I will do another quick reveal when it's all done. All right, catch you later. We're back, and here is the reveal. I think it looks pretty good. And to answer a scientific question, which is how long did this take? The answer is about 60% of a beer. By the way, this Cali Squeeze is pretty good. I'm not really the kind of guy that's into super fruity beers or flavored beers for that matter, but these Cali ones are pretty well balanced. That flavor, passion fruit, is not my favorite of the bunch. The tangerine one is pretty good, and people seem to like the orange one too. So give it a shot if you want something refreshing and tangy. Here we have all the chads produced. I only messed one of them up. And some final words of advice. I used this 1/8 inch punch because I had it, and it was a pretty good way to make these holes. However, if you don't currently have any punches, I would suggest that this is a much better tool. This is a regular hole punch. This is too big. I performed a cursory search, and 1/8 inch hole punches are available for not much money, maybe 20 bucks or so. So I think that would be a better way, because it's not super clean. It's pretty good. It's consistent enough for my needs. If you're a super perfectionist, that's not going to work for you. Definitely get a hole punch. Now, on to the dots. So you are going to feel these. It is tape, after all. Now, I'm not the kind of player that does, you know, the Lewis Johnson type wrap around with your thumb. I was taught long ago that that was bad form. I don't agree with that now, but the end result is that I'm not used to playing that way, so I don't play that way. So I'm not going to be rubbing my thumb over these and dislodging them. And, you know, I'm more of a studio guy. I should say I'm more of a home studio guy. I don't play out much anymore, and I'm not going to be rubbing these dots off easily. So I'm quite happy with this setup. And basically, since I leveraged my existing tools, I only paid, you know, 12, 13 bucks for this tape, and I think I could get some good use out of that tape for other bases. I have bases that don't have any fret markers at all, and when I'm filming for YouTube, I find that it's not so great to have a base without fret markers, because then you, the lovely viewer, cannot really see where I'm at on the fretboard. So I might be adding some markers to those bases that don't have them. And, you know, this is a totally reversible mod. The tape stays in place well enough for what I need. So for now, the diminutive SB-1010 is going to be a lot more useful to me. Hope you enjoyed that. Good luck on your project should you endeavor to follow in my footsteps. All right. Hope you all have a great weekend. Bye for now.